Ufotable is really great at integrating 2D with 3D. A lot of their environments are 3D, so they can get these like cool swooping camera movements, which
Yeah.
makes the show is so much more fun. The Infinity Castle is a 3D model. The whole thing's a 3D model, and it was shown really early in the seasons. I think even in season one, but that model was not used for the movie. They had to make a whole new model for the movie. Being a 3D artist, like that's literally what I do. I create stuff like that. That's a lot of work, yo.
Yeah.
Seeing that environment that was created, that is the Infinity Castle, is insane. So they created it for the show, then they scrapped it because they needed to make a new one for the movie, more high res version with more detail. And after they made it and they calculated the amount of frames they needed for the background, it was going to take 3.5 years to render all of it. So for people that don't understand, you create the 3D object in a program, and then you have to now give it textures, lighting, and then you have to render it. And the rendering, what it's doing, it's taking the 3D models, it's taking the textures, and then the lighting. And the program, it's mathematically trying to simulate real life based off the information that you're giving it. And if you have a lot of geometry in it, geometry meaning the models, if you have a lot of geometry, high resolution textures, and you have these crazy light sources, it's going to take a long time to render. And for the Infinity Castle, they calculated it was going to take 3.5 years to render. And there's rendering farms, but they cost a fuck ton of money, especially for something like this. Costs like millions of dollars to send it to a render farm. But luckily, the producer of Mugen Train, Hikaru Kondo, who also
Mm.
co-directed this movie and co-wrote this movie, when they made Mugen Train, he told the president of Aniplex, and also Hikaru Kondo is the president of Ufotable as well, but he told the president of Aniplex that Infinity Castle was going to be a film trilogy way back in 2020. So they've been working on this movie since 2020, but the 3.5 years was still a problem that they had to get over. So what they did to cut down the rendering time, they optimized their machines as much as possible. Their machines being their computers, upgraded them as much as they possibly could. And then they had the artists rework the Infinity Castle model to probably bring down the geometry, bring down some texture resolution, and try to cut the rendering time down as much as possible. I'm not sure how much they were able to cut down, but it was enough to produce this movie, so they cut it down successfully. Coming from an artist standpoint, having to rework something like that, god damn. But I'm hoping those artists are okay. Like, I'm sure they went through so much work recreating this Infinity Castle. And the first time we actually got to see the new Infinity Castle was at the end of the first episode in the Swordsmith arc. At the end, there's a teaser where Akaza is standing in the Infinity Castle. That was the first time we as an audience got to see the new model of the Infinity Castle.